decided to talk to you again today about my secret life as a pagan. I am talking to you again about my religious beliefs, and I thought I would share a little bit more of a background behind a few of the things I discussed in my last video about various religions and underlying connections. On a scientific note, so a theory in science is all energy is everywhere, cannot be created or destroyed, and I'm sure that's not the proper way of putting it. I'm not a scientist, but I mean that's the gist of what that is. And so if you think about everything being energy, that means we are energy. Everything around us, everything is energy. So energy, when it is focused towards a desire, a need, or goal, is another term for magic, really. Because you're putting forth an effort, you're pushing that in one direction to become something that you're wanting it to be. You're pursuing your will on whatever it is you desire. And there's a lot of different things that can be put towards. Many people can sense energy with one or more of the five senses, like sight, smell, sound, taste, or feeling. Typically people are either better at giving or receiving energy, and with work can balance to give or receive better. Energy work does take practice for most people. It's not always something that comes naturally to some, and it should be done with caution, because with anything, what you're doing can be dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. You shouldn't blindly jump into things, because oftentimes it can have ill-advised consequences. But back to my original topic, religion. If you watch enough of this, you'll realize I ramble and can easily get sidetracked. So a lot of these notes are really taken from a documentary to begin with, from the Zeitgeist, because it just put it so clearly outlined, just point by point, that I had to take notes and reiterate some of these. So the sun had been worshipped and adorned by humans for millennia, thousands of years, long ago. Humans also long ago traced stars and allowed them to track events, constellations, and record time. One of the oldest images in history is the Zodiac cross, which looks like this. I don't know if you can see that very well. A little camera there. It's basically a circle with a cross, and a circle being in the center of the cross. As we later get into pagan symbols, you'll learn that a cross is actually a pagan symbol. It's not a Christian symbol. The cross is actually a symbol representing divinity coming down from heaven, touching earth, and then the line across would represent the physical plane, the human plane. And so the zodiac cross would represent the 12 constellations through the course of the year, moving as the sun moves through them. And it would also represent the 4 seasons, solstices, and equinoxes. And oftentimes in myth, the constellations were personified as animals or people, and they were given stories and relationships. And the sun was seen as God, often called God's Son, Light of the World, Savior of humankind. And the 12 constellations represented the place for this God's Son to travel. And so, as we get more into mythology, we'll start with Egyptian mythology, which I really honestly know a little bit more about Greek and Roman, but Egyptian mythology, if you look at Horus, he was called the sun god. and his life involved a series of mysteries involving the sun's movement through the sky. And he had an enemy named Set or Darkness. Horus would kill Set every morning, and every evening Set would conquer Horus and send him back to the underworld. All of these myths involve light versus dark, good versus evil. Horus was born December 25th, virgin. His birth was accompanied by a star in the east, and 3 kings adored him. At 12, he was a prodigal child and teacher. At 30, he was baptized and began a ministry. He had 12 disciples. Sound familiar? Others. We have Krishna, Hindu deity, born of a virgin. There was a star in the east at his birth. He performed miracles and resurrected the dead. Dionysus of Greece, born of a virgin, born on December 25th, performed miracles like turning water into wine, and called the King of Kings, God's only begotten Son, the Alpha and the Omega. After death, he was resurrected. In Persia, you have Mithra, pretty much the same. And then, of course, you have Jesus, of the Christian variety, which was born of virgin, star in the east, born on December 25th. And if you've never watched the Zeitgeist documentary before and your mind is feeling completely blown open in half, you know how I felt when I first watched it, because, like I said in the first video, I think that there's an underlying thread in all of this that we're meant to discover to find something greater of what God truly wants. And looking at all this closely, you notice all these similarities. And of course my first thought was, well, okay, I've been studying all these religions for quite a while. I have this big book of things I've been writing. If I turn to that section, give me just one moment, please. A lot of notes. We have, for religions, Wicca that I have studied, being more of an earth-based religion. We tend to honor nature and do no harm. I really, really am fond of Buddhism as well. It's a very peaceful religion. Gnosticism is very interesting because it's pre-Christian, and then of course shamanism is a favorite. But those are just a few, and I'm gonna get more in depth every time, every video I make, and I hope I'm not too spacey and random so that you can grasp some knowledge from what I'm saying, and hopefully some of what I'm saying will be eye-opening. I'm sure to others this is so basic it's boring, but what I'm trying to do isn't for the expert on all of this. What I'm trying to do is educate those who perhaps are searching for something and don't quite have the knowledge or the know-how or know where to go or what to look at or how to go about things, because I was in your shoes if you are that person. And so I did all this research on my own, and in time came others that knew much more than I did and could do much more than I could, and through meeting them it was very refreshing, because instantly, of course, I thought, oh, you can answer all of my needless questions that are endless. But that wasn't quite how it went. They of course did answer nicely some of my questions, but as I've told you in my last video, some answers are not meant to be given, but meant to be sought. And so this is hopefully been a little eye-opening to some. And again, I will not read hateful comments, so just don't leave them because they're boring and needless. I thank you, and I hope that you enjoyed the video. Blessed be, and merry meet again.